News at 5.
Coming up tonight in the news, looking to have a little fun and give back tonight? Well, we have just the thing.
Also calling the American flag a rag. That's what one Nebraska senator said. But first,
the capital city and parts of the state already in a winter weather advisory. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us.
well, another storm is on the way, packing quite a punch.
That's right. It's sounding like parts of the state could see up to 8 inches of snow or more. Let's get the latest details from Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki. Hey, Dean.
It's the winter that never ends, Megan, and it continues to roll on, and we've got numerous advisories and warnings, so let's get right to them. First off, for tonight, a winter weather advisory that is for the entire area through noon tomorrow. Then that transitions into a blizzard warning for much of the eastern part of the state, and that will go into 3 a.m. Sunday morning. What constitutes a blizzard? Well, a few things. Obviously, you need snow, you need reduced visibility, and it has to last for a minimum of 3 hours. So that's what we're looking at tomorrow. We're looking at about a 6-hour window of moderate to heavy snow. And at that time, we could see snowfall rates of about 1 inch to 2 inches per hour. Now, right now, we're starting to see those clouds thicken up. We've seen a few light sleet showers in northwestern part of Lancaster County. That's moving up into Saunders County. Most of this activity right now north of the Platte River, but we'll see that moisture continue to increase as we head into the overnight. Temperatures right now at or above freezing throughout much of the area. That's why we're expecting that wintry mix overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. That's going to be the primary threat. And it doesn't look like a huge deal, but enough to make the roads a little slick, especially the side streets. Winds, not that bad right now, about 5 to 10 out of the east, giving us wind chills generally in the 20s. So with temperatures hovering around the freezing mark, that's the reason for the winter weather advisory tonight. And then the main storm system comes out at us as we head into Saturday. Conditions will deteriorate throughout the day, and travel by tomorrow evening is absolutely not recommended, as we will be right in the heart of blizzard conditions by tomorrow evening. I'll run down the timing of when we're expecting the heaviest snow, the heaviest winds, when will it all end, and how much snow are we expecting to get. Even if we wound up with the low end of the totals, when you're looking at 30, 40 mile an hour winds, it doesn't take much snow to make blizzard conditions and travel extremely difficult. So we'll run down the full details coming up a little bit later.
All right, thank you, Dean.
You bet.
An update now on the shooting in Holdridge, Nebraska that killed 2 and injured another.
45-year-old Manuel Gomez now faces multiple charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Kennedy Stillwater joins us now with the latest details. Kennedy?
That's right. It's the first homicide in Holdridge in 50 years. The Phelps County attorney announced the charges filed against Gomez this afternoon.
He's been charged with 2 counts of murder in the first degree. He's been charged with assault in the first degree, and then he's been charged with 3 counts of use of a firearm to commit a felony, and 1 count of possession of a deadly weapon by a prohibited person. And the final charge was operation of a motor vehicle to avoid arrest.
Thursday afternoon, 65-year-old Raymond Burton and 54-year-old David Rogers were found dead after being shot at Sunrise View Apartments. A third victim, 64-year-old Doyle Morse, was shot in a residential neighborhood but was still able to call 911. Morse is currently in serious but stable condition at a hospital in Kearney. Gomez was arrested Thursday afternoon outside of the Phelps County Sheriff's Office after a short, low-speed pursuit.
I feel very safe that he is the lone perpetrator and our community is safe.
The Nebraska State Patrol, the Holdridge Police Department, the Phelps County Sheriff's Office, and the South Central Area Law Enforcement Services are all working together on this case. The investigation is still ongoing and details are continuously being released. They still don't know the motive behind the shooting spree, though. We will have the latest on this story tonight at 10.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people are saying, why? Why did this happen? All right,
Yeah.
Kennedy, I know, like you said, you have the latest at 10. Appreciate it. We have more now on a human trafficking sting that happened here in Lincoln this week.
2 men were arrested as a result of an ongoing investigation. Today, the lead detective on the case spoke to us. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Zach Worthington has more details on that for us this evening. Zach?
Rod and Megan, I spoke with Lincoln Police Detective Benjamin Miller, who says Lincoln Crime Stoppers played a key role in apprehending the 2 suspects. Lincoln Police Detective Benjamin Miller says the city of Lincoln is no stranger to human trafficking. His latest investigation resulted in the arrest of 2 men accused of running a local operation, 41-year-old Herschel Bradley and 59-year-old Kurt Mortensen. It came after investigators followed up on a Lincoln Crime Stoppers tip for an online ad offering sexual favors.
With those tips, it could be the smallest thing. I mean, it may not, we don't always need every detail of whatever the crime is to come in. Sometimes it may just be a license plate or a nickname or a phone number, or, you know, pointing us towards, in this case, an advertisement on the internet.
Investigators were following this particular group for 6 months. Detective Miller says they have identified 3 to 6 young women between the ages of 19 and 23 who are victims. Lincoln Police partners with the Omaha Child Exploitation Task Force because Lincoln and Omaha are such popular trafficking destinations due to proximity to the interstate.
The 2 people that got arrested for pandering, as of this point, both have strong ties and connections to Omaha. I mean, they're back and forth between Omaha all the time. And so it's important to have that relationship with that group up in Omaha.
Detective Miller says the prevalence of human trafficking right here in Lincoln would surprise most people. He says younger girls are targeted for a variety of reasons.
They're looking for people that are vulnerable. So they're looking for girls that maybe have mental health issues, that are on run, that are homeless, don't have anywhere to go, that are drug addicted or alcohol dependent. That's who they're generally targeting.
Miller says there's no doubt in his mind that they will identify more victims from this investigation in the future. He says oftentimes the girls don't want to help investigators right away out of fear of what will happen to them. These cases take a lot of time and resources, sometimes over a year in length, and they are hard on everyone involved.
And I can tell you that these cases are by far the most difficult cases to investigate and work. They're extremely time-consuming. Just the trauma that these victims endure makes it extremely difficult to work through it.
Detective Miller says he would like to see new legislation that brings harsher penalties for the buyers of sex. Senator Patty Pansing Brooks has introduced a measure that focuses less on punishing trafficking survivors and more on punishing the sex purchasers.
Yes, and we'll keep folks updated on the bill and if more comes from the sex trafficking ring. Zach Worthington, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Well, Senator Ernie Chambers has once again made national news. He called our American flag a rag.
Senator Groney wants to talk about the meaning of respect. What do white people mean by it and what do black people mean by it? White people mean we got to bow down to what they tell us as black people to bow down to. I don't come up here for this rag every day, and it's a rag. That's all it is to me. When you show a way to persuade Jews to sanctify and worship the swastika, when you show me that, I'll come up here and stand while you all hypocritically pretend that rag is something that it definitely is not.
Now, Chambers has been vocal against a bill that would update social studies requirements for Nebraska students. After he spoke, an emotional Senator Tom Brewer, who is a veteran, took to the floor.
It rips our heart out to hear someone say that they referred to the flag as a rag, because for those of us that have brought home those that we've lost, it's hard to ever refer to the flag as a rag, because you have to fold it and you have to give it to the parents. That's awful hard to do. And to not call them heroes, I don't know what else you can call them. They gave everything.
Senator Brewer spent more than 30 years serving in the military. Now, the bill Chambers was upset about is scheduled to be debated again on Tuesday.
If you need some plans for your Friday night, why not catch a hockey game and help local kids? The Lincoln Firefighters Association will be at the Lincoln Stars hockey game tonight. They're collecting monetary donations for their Operation Warm, which buys new winter coats for children. Doors for the hockey game open tonight at 6 o'clock, and then the game starts at 7. Still ahead on the news tonight, the New England Patriots owner has got caught up in a sex trafficking case.
And we'll take a look at the stock market and some of your local numbers a little bit later. Stay with us.
New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft is facing misdemeanor charges today of soliciting a prostitute.
This after the 77-year-old was allegedly videotaped in a sex act at a Florida massage parlor. ABC's Aaron Katursky kicks off tonight's national headlines.
Less than 3 weeks ago, Robert Kraft was celebrating. The New England Patriots, the team he has owned for more than 2 decades, had won the Super Bowl. Today, a new reality.
That would be Mr. Robert Kraft.
Police in Jupiter, Florida said Kraft was one of 25 men who solicited a prostitute at a strip mall massage parlor. A spokesman said, "We categorically deny that Mr. Kraft engaged in any illegal activity." But police said Kraft was twice videotaped inside the Orchids of Asia day spa.
So the video that we obtained, it shows the act that took place. On every gentleman that you have a list of, the act that took place is recorded on that video.
Former New England Patriot Teddy Bruschi, who's now an NFL analyst for our sister network ESPN, said he's disturbed by the news.
Surprised and shocked is an understatement. Mr. Kraft is someone who I care very deeply about. So hearing this, I guess that's a big if this were true, I'd be extremely disappointed.
Kraft has not been arrested. He'll face 2 counts of misdemeanor solicitation of prostitution. He's one of more than 200 people caught in a crackdown on sex trafficking across Florida. The NFL said it is aware of the matter and monitoring developments. As an owner, Kraft is subject to possible punishment for conduct detrimental to the integrity of the league. And the charge may also test Kraft's friendship with President Trump, whose administration has vowed to eradicate human trafficking.
He's proclaimed his innocence totally, but I'm very surprised to see it.
Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
And stay with us, Nita, next with your 10-day forecast, the very latest on the big storm this weekend.
You're watching Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 5.
The calm before the storm. Temperatures in the 30s to some spots from our viewer network, around 40 today. Hey, that's not bad. We saw a little sunshine, and now the clouds have thickened up. Still quite a bit of snow on the ground. The roads are in good shape, but that won't last long. We're at 33. This is going to be very critical overnight as temperatures hover right around that freezing mark. As the precip does start to develop, we're going to see a mixture of rain, maybe a little sleet, freezing drizzle. So it's not going to be a big event tonight, but it's going to be enough to mess things up a little bit, make travel a little tricky, especially on untreated roads. East wind at 8, giving us wind chill into the 20s. We topped out at 34 out at the airport after a cold morning low of 11, obviously well below where we should be for this time of the year. And again, temperature is going to play a critical part of not only tonight's precip, but also when this transitions over tomorrow as well. 30s across the area. Temperatures, most areas hovering around freezing. Temperatures a few degrees above freezing to our south, with east winds generally 5 to 10, and giving us wind chills in the 20s. Now we're going to see those winds remain relatively light through about, early afternoon tomorrow, and then those winds really start to ramp up as the main storm system ejects out of the southern Rockies. The cold air to the north, this will be dragged into the system. Look at the warm air along the Gulf Coast. That's going to produce severe weather, and that's the wild card, and we'll explain that in just a bit. But for now, those clouds continue to increase, most of the precip north of the Platte River, but we're starting to see a little bit more in our area developing. Here's the storm system in the desert southwest, still giving snow, record snows at upper elevations of Arizona, New Mexico. This slowly pulls out, and as it does, it's already starting to tap moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico here, you can see. Now, we're expecting severe weather with this system as we head into Saturday afternoon. That will be up and down the Tennessee River Valley. Depending on how much severe weather erupts, that could rob some of the moisture that would otherwise be pulled into this system on the cold side. That would reduce our snowfall totals, not expecting that, but that is one of the reasons we have slightly lower snow forecasted for tomorrow's event than what our computer models are giving us, and we'll explain more on that in just a bit as well. Stormcast has those easterly winds continuing. Again, that light mixed precip breaking out after about 8 o'clock tonight. We'll see a break then as we head into tomorrow morning. Then the main storm system down to our south and west. It really starts to wrap in this moisture by lunchtime. I think we'll see a little rain or kind of a freezing rain mix. That will quickly change over to snow here by early afternoon. This dark blue is heavy snow, about 1 inch to 2 inches per hour. And so we're looking at 2 o'clock. As we go into 4 o'clock, heavy snow over the area. As we go into 6 o'clock, we're still looking at heavy snow and winds really starting to pick up by 6 o'clock. That's when the heart of this storm is expected. expected. And by 7:30, we're starting to see the heavier snow pull off into the area. And then by about 9, 10 o'clock, it's out of here. Sunday, skies clear, but still on the breezy side. So how much snow are we looking at? Well, we're looking at a good corridor of 5 to 8 inches from about Geneva up through the capital city in Omaha. I put the plus on there because our computer models are printing out much more than 8 inches. But again, we're just going to play it on the conservative side. Even if we got 5 inches with 30 to 40 mile-an-hour winds, we're looking at deteriorating conditions. Travel not recommended Saturday afternoon into evening. 30 tonight, winter weather advisory, a little light mix, and that will change to heavy snow as winds increase tomorrow. Then we'll see those temperatures falling after a high of 34, and then we quiet things down. Look at that stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of no snow. What's going on? But we still stay cold, and just keep up to date on the forecast. There's a chance we might increase these snow totals. I believe 5 to 8 is a very good, accurate estimate of what is going to fall tomorrow. You combine that with 30, 40 mile-an-hour winds, it is going to be an absolute mess around here tomorrow evening. Stay home tomorrow night. Just, that's the best advice.
All right, thanks, Dean.
All right.
Still to come on the news tonight, the countdown to the Oscars is on.
Expect lots of changes this year. We'll be right back.
The 91st Academy Awards are just 2 days away.
So who's going to take home the top awards? ABC's Chris Connolly has the latest predictions from Hollywood.
The final setup underway at the Dolby Theater, with the countdown now on for Hollywood's biggest night.
It feels good. It feels good. It's the Oscars.
The Oscars producers hoping that feeling stays, despite some shakeups this year. It'll be the first time without a host in 3 decades. The last time in 1989 is remembered for this awkward opening number.
Oh, Mr. Lowe. But you said goodbye.
The producers are also striving to keep the show to just 3 hours, limiting acceptance speeches to just 90 seconds.
When that clock, your clock will begin at the moment that you hear your name called. You better have your Nikes on.
It's all real. Nominees expected to get called for that sprint to the stage include Glenn Close, a favorite in the Best Actress category, though nominees Lady Gaga and Olivia Colman are bringing some tough competition.
Look at me!
I'm CEO of a large company.
In the Best Actor category, Christian Bale and Rami Malek are seen as frontrunners.
He won the SAG Award, he won a Golden Globe, and he's really been working the circuit.
But experts say the Best Picture category seems to be wide open.
Green Book, Bohemian Rhapsody, Black Panther, Roma. All of those movies have won an award that looks like Best Picture. They have every bit of a puncher's chance.
But it's still unclear how the producers plan to keep the show moving and entertaining without a host. We know they have some big performances lined up, including by Queen, and there are some A-listers all set to present. But beyond that, a lot of the details are still a mystery. Marcia Gonzalez, ABC News, Hollywood.
And just a quick reminder, the awards will air right here on Channel 8 ABC. We'll have red carpet coverage starting at 5:30, then the Oscars start at 7, and as soon as they conclude, Rod and I will have your local news immediately after.
Hopefully, right around 10 o'clock, right?
Hopefully.
A good day on Wall Street on this Friday. The Dow gained 181, NASDAQ up 68. We'll be right back.
It is time now for our Facebook Fans of the Day, sponsored by Great Plains Honda. These homeschoolers got to come in and explore Channel 8. They had a behind-the-scenes tour, learning the ins and outs of the station here. And, of course, they had a great time in front of Dean's green screen. It's always kids' favorite. They get to dance and play. We hope you guys had a lot of fun. We enjoyed having you here.
Well, that does look like fun. They were all over the world there.
They were.
Keep your pictures coming in like us by searching Channel 8 Eyewitness News, then upload your photo. Dean?
We'll see a wintry mix develop tonight. So a winter weather advisory with that wintry mix tonight. It doesn't look like a huge deal, but enough to kind of make things slick. The main event comes tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. Blizzard conditions are going to be a certainty with, we're forecasting right now 5 to 8 inches of snow throughout the area, and there will be locally higher amounts with this, so just keep that in mind. Travel not recommended tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night.
All right, thanks, Dean. Thank you all for joining us.
See you back here at 6.